Validating their historic season, the Oklahoma City Thunder closed out the Pacers in Game 7. Meanwhile, the rest of the league looks to be in an arms race to try and fight against this emerging dynasty. Max, Chase, and I will give our takes on the current goings-on of the NBA. So the Oklahoma City Thunder finally won the finals. Do we think things would have been different if Tyrese Halliburton wasn't injured? And also, do we think
Yeah.
it's yeah,
No, keep going, Misha.
yeah. And do we
Yeah,
also think like it was a little bit confusing that a 50-win team managed to push the 68-win behemoth to 7 games?
yeah, yeah. I think. I mean, answering the first question, I think the outcome would have definitely been different if Tyrese Halliburton hadn't got hurt.
I
I
think
can't
that'll
say
be,
the Pacers would have won, but
yeah,
kind
it's
of
gonna
just
be
the.
one of. So
If you want to keep talking.
I was just gonna say pretty much what you said. It's like one of those next big what ifs of the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely wouldn't have seen the Pacers just go stagnant in that second half, where they had stretches of T.J. McConnell scoring 14 straight points, and then Benedict Mathurin going for like 8 straight, which sounds impressive from it is impressive from those players, but if you're the Pacers, you want to get more production from everybody else. So
Especially when you hear that it was TJ McConnell scoring those, what, 12, 14 points in like a 10-minute span. So in like 10 minute, more than 10
yeah,
minutes, I think, because it started like a bit after the third quarter and went into the fourth quarter where only TJ McConnell scored.
yeah,
And
use literally their whole offense
which is
for that
not
stretch.
good. But a huge part of that was due to Oklahoma City's like hounding defense.
I mean, well, yeah, it got to the point where it was like, okay, if we stop TJ, we've won this game because you kind of saw the Thunder would put like they had like I think they had Case and Wallace on him at first, and then they kind of started to add more pressure and throw in like double teams with Lou Dort and Caruso, and he couldn't really get through that.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's just what it came down to. You said
But
anything
it's
to add?
Uh, yeah, I agree. I mean, Tyrese Halliburton is sort of the is definitely the engine for their offense, and they've got a lot of great offensive players, but without him, like they really don't have anybody with like I mean, besides like he's got such like a good ball handle and feel for the game and passing vision. He is sort of the engine, and they are definitely like a team built around the player. Like they've traded and drafted, maybe not drafted, but at least they've traded Siakam to be a perfect partner for him. And without him, you could see Siakam kind of struggling.
yeah.
Yeah,
And I don't blame Siakam. Like he can't be the only like big offensive option. Otherwise, you're just gonna be. But again, if you're going against the Oklahoma City Thunder, you're just gonna be targeted by. They're just hounds of all defensive level defenders.
And it did get to a point in that game where Siakam started just kind of like forcing shots because they didn't have anything going. And I wonder if like Rick Carlisle kind of just told him to try and get something going because none of
Yeah,
us can get anything going. And you could see he was like taking contested like mid ranges that were not falling and just
yeah.
trying to get anything happening for their offense.
First time we've seen those miss in the playoffs is contested mid ranges.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Um, you
yeah,
want to go ahead?
I don't know if the outcome would have been different though. I mean,
Yeah,
like
I can't say the
Oklahoma City
Pacers
Thunder,
would have won that game.
when
Like
they want
they'll,
to shut down a team, they've
You
shown
can't
they can,
say
especially
you
in
can't say they would
Oklahoma.
have. They definitely could have though.
yeah,
Like
like
Tyrese Halliburton, Misha, if you had seen how he had started,
I know. Well,
he was on another
yeah.
level. He
Unfortunately, guys, I owe an apology. I was on a camping trip, so I did not see the last game of the NBA Finals.
yeah, get a load of this guy. I don't know why he's still on our podcast.
Yeah,
Dude
almost
doesn't
got
even
fired,
watch
but
basketball.
Max is very kind.
But yeah,
uh,
he started off hot and aggressive and was
Yeah,
like looking to get a shot going and
I saw
then
like how he got
obviously
the injury. That looked really
yeah.
nasty, and also
And
it's an
ESPN
Achilles like
made
tear.
sure everybody saw how that
yep.
happened. They showed that so many times.
Yeah,
But it is
it's brutal.
devastating, yeah, for sure. And just the look on his face too, like you gotta feel for the man.
Yeah, it was like Jason Tatum all over again.
Yeah,
Jason
and
Tatum.
and
Yeah.
Dame. That's three number
And
zeros this
yeah,
playoff. But
yeah,
So
and
where do
it's
you
gonna be
guys
like
think?
it's gonna
Or
be a whole year before he could recover, which is pretty brutal,
Yeah, what do you
especially for
think
the
the
Pacers.
Pacers do from here? Because they have no Tyrese Halliburton next year.
Well,
I
they're
think
definitely
they can't do anything brash. Like they're still Tyrese Halliburton's still young, even though he might not be the same. Like he didn't really rely that much on athleticism in
yeah.
general, so he could still be like an insane player even after
Yeah,
the
I think
injury.
he could still return to close to himself. Obviously, I don't think they're going to make it the run they did this
Oh
year.
yeah,
But I don't know if you guys saw they traded their pick this year to get their first round pick back for next year, their
Yeah,
own pick. So which was kind of a smart move in hindsight, given that they kind of expected that with Halliburton's injury, although it was before he actually like tore it in Game 7. It was I think
yeah,
after Game 5 or 6, and he was
mm,
expected to be injured probably and go through surgery.
mm,
Um, so they got that pick back, knowing that they'd probably be in a worse position next year, which I think was smart. So I think they won't disappear completely, but they're definitely not going to be contending.
do you
yeah.
think
Without
it's a?
Tyrese Halliburton, you saw how clunky their offense was. Like
Yeah.
I
imagine
mean, they
that
were
just
still winning at the end of the first half.
because those
Yeah.
guys they were fighting for a cause, and then the Oklahoma City Thunder decided to just lock him down.
Yeah.
And
In the
to
second
be
half,
fair,
Oh,
the Thunder
yes.
are a really good defensive team.
yeah.
Yeah,
The Thunder are the best. Like, um, you know how we were talking about if they are as good as the Warriors, their defense is definitely the best like team defense we've seen in a really long time.
probably since the Bulls,
Um,
or maybe the Pistons.
yeah, I was thinking the Pistons, but their offense is kind of their flaw, and
Yeah,
it
like
was kind of looking like in the first half they couldn't really get anything going, and their defense wasn't looking amazing, but they kind of just locked in that second half.
yeah.
You guys think the Pacers can make the playoffs next year? Because the East is really bad.
I think
Yeah,
the East is
I
pretty.
don't see a bunch. I don't see like Chicago and some other teams leapfrogging them, even without Tyrese Halliburton. They've still got enough talent. To,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the whole Eastern Conference is going to be kind of a big question mark heading into next season.
I think there's a chance Bucks could be a bottom feeder next year, depending
The
on what they
Bucks.
do with Giannis.
Yeah.
Out Dame, and then like Celtics are going to be different.
Yeah,
And
I think Celtics are still going to be top five, but
so yeah. I'm not expecting them to disappear completely, but with loss of
I think
Tate,
only teams we know are going to be good are Cavs, Celtics, Magic, um, Magic, New
I'd
York,
say the
I could see.
Pistons
Cleveland.
I could see the Sixers. Maybe you said Cavs already. I think the Sixers could have a bounce back year, just depending on Joel Embiid's health.
and Jared McKee.
I'm not gonna trust the
Yeah,
process
I
there.
wouldn't count on it, but it's
It could
definitely a
happen.
possibility.
Yeah,
Teams that could make a resurgence would be like Atlanta and maybe Toronto if they get there. But I
Yeah, I think
still think
depending
there's
on the moves that Atlanta makes, and then if they also get Jalen Johnson healthy again,
yeah.
they will be pretty solid.
and then you also got the
I
Pistons.
think unless Heat do something, they're gonna be worse. I
The
think
Heat suck,
unless
bro. The Heat aren't doing
yeah
anything, bro.
yeah yeah Pat what's his name
That was like
Mr. O'Reilly.
those are like charity games when they're playing the
Yeah.
Cavs. It
Mhm.
was so
Yeah.
buns.
I know Bulls are probably going to be worse. We've got Nets are going to be worse. Wizards are going to be worse. Charlotte's are going to be worse for eternity, and so that's already five teams. So they're at least going to make the play in.
Yeah.
As who knows?
Um,
They have Kobe White and Josh Giddey Magic, but I don't even know if those players
Kobe
are going to
White
be on
might
the
get
floor
traded
next
this
year.
offseason.
Although
We'll
I don't
see.
know, a lot of the teams that want guards like Kobe White have already traded for someone different. Like Magic went for Desmond Bain instead. So,
Yeah,
but I guess that we'll save that for later.
we'll talk about
Uh,
some trades later on.
Yeah, going over
Uh,
to the Thunder side, we want to talk about them a little bit more.
yeah, I just think it was really surprising that it took them 7 games to finish off the Indiana Pacers. No matter how good of a playoff run Indiana has, and I know regular season does not matter as much as people think it does, but like still, like it should have been a 5 game series. But credit to the Indiana Pacers for taking them to 7. But still, I think Thunder really showed some of like their immaturity. Like not saying it's a bad thing; they're a very young team, but I think they showed how they're very inexperienced in the finals.
Do you think this team needs to make moves this offseason? I mean, a big concern for them is their offense, and I think getting a guy that can maybe bring some production off the bench, like shot creation, would be helpful for them.
Sort of got Aaron Wiggins does that sort of.
Aaron
I mean,
Wiggins basketball.
yeah, Aaron Wiggins is good, but like,
Did you guys see
the
that
offense
speech
needs
he gave?
something.
Chet is not the greatest shot creator. Like he can, but he's not the greatest. J-Dub, I don't know. He's more like fast break and shooting and stuff like that. Like I don't know if he's the greatest like dribbling shot creator.
No, he was getting to the basket like on drives and finishing.
Yeah, on drives, but he needs some space for his drives. He can't just do what Shea does, like create a shot out of nothing. He needs like some momentum and space.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw this somewhere. Somebody was saying he has like actually gotten worse on offense since he added like all that weight in the offseason last year, which made him become a better defender because he's just stronger. But
They might need
like
they might
handle
need
wise, it's just not as good as it was a year ago.
they might need like a shifty guard. Maybe actually like Kobe White off the bench or something
Yeah,
like
I was
that.
thinking. Yeah, I was thinking like Kobe White or like Colin Sexton, or I don't know.
Jalen Green. No, I'm just kidding.
They'd have to be cheap. Like they'd
Yeah, they
have
would.
to be not.
There are some like Kobe White's still on a good contract, and they've got enough stuff to like get his nice contract.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for sure, maybe they could do a trade for Peyton Pritchard with the Celtics.
I don't see them. I mean, unless they get a good deal back, I don't see the Celtics doing that.
Yeah, for sure. But
I
they
could
have,
see that. Like,
but actually, I don't even know if Peyton.
how much
Pritchard's
is
a great
how much is
back.
Pritchard making? Because the main thing with the Celtics is the cap situation.
He's making. He's on a very good contract. So
Yeah. 'Cause
Like, I think,
they
like,
have
12
like pieces they could throw. Like they could give him Topic, who hasn't played at all this season. But maybe
Celtics
Topic is
want-
the missing piece.
Yeah.
yeah, who knows? But like, I think overall Thunder is happy where they are, and they're probably. I don't know if they're going to do anything. Like, I think they might just bank on the development and experience of their guys, and like hope that they'll be better next year. I think a big thing was they're the huge favorites, and Pacers are the underdogs, so Pacers are the less pressure and stuff like that, so they could just play like a little bit more stress free.
Just to answer your question, Peyton Pritchard's making $7.5 million a year, which is
Oh
Yeah,
wow,
so-
that's really good value. How many
Yeah.
years does he have on his contract?
up until 2028 when he's an unrestricted free agent.
Yeah, like I don't actually know if the Celtics would trade away that good of a
Yeah, I don't know.
contract.
Yeah, I can't see
I
why
think
they
it's
would
something
trade him.
really good.
Especially when they're trying to stay below like the second apron.
Yeah.
I guess their best bet would be getting a guy from a like rebuilding team, maybe
Yeah.
like Cam Thomas. But I think
I don't.
Cam Thomas is expiring, and he probably wouldn't come off the bench. So I don't know. I think I don't know.
It's a-
Like they might be more challenged next year with, but looking like maybe
I
not
don't know if
because
they will though. Like
right
all their
now-
guys are
right now
contracts, basically it's-
the Rockets
Basically,
have the second highest odds to win the finals, which is kind of
we'll talk about that later.
yeah.
But right now, I think definitely Thunder showed their immaturity. Hopefully, they'll be more experienced next year. But if not, they definitely should add like a veteran who could help get their young guys in check. Like they got to realize sometimes it's not the time to glaciate Gilgeous Alexander and actually focus on the game. Got it, Goobers.
What immaturities?
What are you talking about?
Misha, what immaturities are you specifically talking
He
about?
sees
That took
Jalen
them-
Williams on the bench
took them-
smiling, and he gets mad.
No, that took them 7 games. It should not have taken them 7 games to close out the Pacers.
I mean, I think you got to give the Pacers a little bit
Yeah,
of credit. Like they're a
Pacers
really
play-
good team.
Yeah,
Also,
they're-
like the Nuggets, it should not have taken 7 games to close out the Nuggets either.
I mean, their maturity is like they have vets. They have Caruso,
Like,
who is a two-time
I'm
champion.
saying
at this
immaturity
point.
like it's a bad thing, but the thing is they're a very young team, so you'd expect it. It's just like it's growing pains and stuff like that.
I mean, I really think the narrative about them being young is kind of stupid. Like they have good players on their team. It's not like
yeah, they've got very
like
good
maybe
players,
at times you see them take like a shot that it's like, why are you taking that? But like, I think the main thing they
Well, I
need
think
is just offensive production.
Yeah, and I think it was their. Well, I don't know. I think they sometimes relax a little bit too much. Like
Yeah,
you just look at their defense in some games, and they're just completely shutting down the other team. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like,
well, in
why
the
can't they
second
do
half of that
every
game
game?
7.
But like you also see teams with veterans do that same thing.
yeah, I know, but I don't know. It just was very strange to me that it took them 7 games to close out the Pacers. And now the Pacers are very good.
Well, the Pacers were like bet against every single series they played, maybe except for the Bucks one,
And
except for by
they're
Misha, obviously, because
Yeah,
Misha was
like no,
actually
I like the
spot on with
Pacers.
those
Remember,
predictions.
I was the
No,
only
I know,
one out
I
of
know.
both
That's what
teams
I'm
that said they would
referring
beat the
to.
Cavs. Like I like them, but it was still insane to me that they like managed to take the Oklahoma City Thunder to 7 games.
Yeah, I think also the thing with the Thunder is they do kind of relax in games where they don't feel as much pressure. Like
Yeah,
after they lose a game, they usually come back really strong and like win
yeah,
in a blowout. You saw that in the Denver series and also the finals. So
yeah,
maybe I could
yeah. It's
see a
just
veteran presence being like beneficial for that. But
there's someone who could just like maybe like a Draymond Green kind of guy who just tell them
no,
just like,
no, bro.
yeah, they need
They do
Draymond.
not need, bro.
No, they need someone to like scream at their guys to get in line, play defense, like just don't relax. Like I think they came into the series and they were way overconfident about like the Pacers, whereas the Pacers were hungry. They didn't really have, like I was saying earlier, any like stress on them because they were the underdogs. Doesn't They already went way further than anybody thought. Now all they had to do was just being in the finals was amazing for them. So
well, I mean, they still wanted to win the finals, which is why I think they took it to
yeah,
game 7 because they had the like
yeah,
drive and
exactly. They had the drive,
yeah,
whereas Thunder were just sort of felt like a little bit too
The
relaxed.
Pacers drive is like unmatched though. Like I haven't seen a team with that much like resilience. They come back. They had like multiple like 20-point
Mm.
comebacks. Like you don't see
Yeah,
that in
yeah.
a regular like even like really good teams playoff runs.
yeah. No, it was insane.
All right, is that all final stock or do we
I
have?
had one question for you guys. Over the next 5 years, um, do you think the Thunder will win over or under 2 championships?
I think
I think over. Is the line two or
over.
is it like 1.5
We'll go.
or is it 2.5?
I'm going 2. The line is 2, so
Okay.
three or more, or 1 or less.
I think they can go
Wait, can
for
we
a
take?
three.
But can we take two exactly?
Okay, I'll make it 1.5. 1.5.
I mean, I'd definitely say over then. I think,
So you're saying
Yeah,
they could win
but
at least 2 championships in the next
there's
five
so much parity in the NBA that's like the last 7 years we've had 7 different champions. So
years.
yeah, but this is also the first real team that are the team that's above like with everybody under contract, like a ton of draft picks. Like this is the first like
yeah,
Oklahoma City Thunder team. This is We've not seen a team like this since maybe the Golden State Warriors.
yeah, and also they have Sam Presti who you can count on to make
Yeah,
good
master.
decisions.
Yeah,
Hey, did you guys see him in the like at on the court celebrating after the finals? Like
Yeah,
he just looked so genuinely happy, and you got to
yeah,
give credit to that man because
for sure.
he facilitated all of that.
They
and
got to
yeah,
take
and they
all the
won like
work.
23 games or something.
Yeah.
What, like 3 or 4 years ago?
Uh, yeah, I think it was 3 years ago. They won 23 or 24, one of the two. And then, but also same thing with the Pacers 3 years ago. They won like 24 games too. So both those
Yeah.
teams, amazing turnarounds from
Yeah, it must
Yeah,
3 years.
for
feel
sure.
good when you had like Teo Maladon leading your offense and like who else was there? Darius Baisley.
Oh yeah.
Who's on that Pacers? Who was on that Pacers team? I don't know.
Miles Turner always there.
Well, that is true. Bro, okay, going to the Pacers, Miles Turner has to be gone this offseason, bro. He was
I
so
don't know, like,
bad.
but also if they didn't have him, it's like questionable whether they'd get that far.
Actually,
'Cause
yeah,
he's like
maybe that's an overreaction because he was just so bad in the finals.
he's like
But
basically like one of their only seriously good defensive players.
I think the thing they need is a backup center.
Oh
Yeah,
bro, they were playing Tony Bradley as backup center.
Tony Bradley and Thomas Bryant, bro. They couldn't figure out who to play.
Hey, but Thomas Bryant's coming back stronger than ever next year. Misha, did you see the clip of him staying on the court, acting tough after the OKC
You
won
played
Game 7?
5 minutes, bro.
He was like standing there watching their celebration, like all like just staying straight and just
that's ridiculous.
acting. Yeah, like he was a part of that. But yeah,
I saw a thing on Instagram that had him adding Day'Ron Sharp in free
Mhm.
agency, but it was like 9. It was like 2 years, 9 million, which I think Day'Ron Sharp will be making more money than that probably.
Yeah, who knows? That Nets team is like, I don't know.
Yeah.
What are
Pretty
they?
defensive in that.
They're like a they're like just a weird they're like I said, they're like little China. They're you just have the most random players chucking like 20 shots a night in that Nets team right
Yeah.
now.
No, but Dayron Sharp is good. Like
No, he's good defensively. I just don't know like how much
he's a really good
I don't know how much
rebounder.
you proved like being on the Nets.
Well, he's a really good rebounder, which is kind of you can't really. It's not like he's getting more touches, and that's leading to his rebound numbers going up. Like he's probably the best or one of the best offensive rebounders in the league,
Yeah.
Really?
which is pretty contrasting to Miles Turner, who was averaging like 2 rebounds that series.
Actually,
So,
he was averaging like 4.5.
oh my
Yeah,
fault,
Max.
my fault.
Like,
He's averaging
going-
shooting guard rebound numbers about.
Yeah.
All right, is that all for the finals talk?
Yeah,
Uh,
I think
yeah, I
so.
think so.
All right.
I'm not gonna.
All right.
Let's just keep
All
talking.
right.
about it.
Keep it going. Keep it
Stop
going.
All right.
All right.
Well, it's time to talk about some of the trades that have happened. I think the first one was the Phoenix Suns trying to upstage the NBA Finals by
Do you
trading
not want to
like
go in order? I think we should go in
Yeah,
order.
let's go in
even
order.
before that. What?
No,
Go in
let's
order.
go in order.
Oh yeah, Desmond Bain was first. I
Yeah.
realize. What
Um,
do we think about that trade?
I think it's a good trade for both sides. Like,
agree.
obviously, it's an overpay for Orlando, but I think they needed to do that to like get the trade to go through because
they
it was a
desperately need.
bidding war. So
Yeah.
Yeah, when it comes to score first guards, I think Desmond Bain's definitely on the upper echelon, and he's also quite young. So,
Yeah.
and also he's a better playmaker than a lot of those guards.
hmm and he can defend
Yeah.
at a
He's
solid
very
level.
strong. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He's a big
Yeah.
dude.
One weakness is his T-Rex build, but that's about it.
Yeah.
I also liked it for the Grizzlies. I mean, the Grizzlies didn't. I mean,
Well,
I
the
guess
Grizzlies
they.
got 4 first-round picks, so
Well,
Yeah,
but also they
kind of
have
have
like
to like it for them.
they have crazy depth, like with all these like young guys.
I think they have too much depth. I think
Yeah,
they
that's
yeah,
what,
they need to. I think they will probably this offseason. They'll cash in all that depth and the picks for a superstar.
I think
Just
they
don't
could
know
land
who
Giannis. Giannis is going to be pulling up the Memphis. That would be
it is.
crazy.
Yeah, that would be.
but yeah. So
I don't know.
they have a bunch of young like depth. I mean, you have Jalen Wells who had a great rookie season.
You got Zach Edey, who, um,
Drove 101 miles per hour.
yeah, Zach Edey, who
I
might
don't
be
know what
in
he's
jail
doing.
next season. I think he was speeding like that.
And then who else? Like Scottie
You got
Pippen
Jay
Jr.
Huff, Santi Aldama.
Santi Aldama's probably gone. I
Really?
think.
They're trading him.
No, I think. Well, he's a
Or
free
is he
agent, and I
expiring?
don't think they have the
Free
money to pay him.
Yeah, no.
This is just what I've heard. But they also have like Gigi Jackson,
Oh yeah,
Vince Williams,
Yeah.
Brandon Clark.
Mhm.
So yeah, who's like a superstar you could see him going after besides
Well, I
Giannis?
think another
I thought they
question
would
is,
go after KD, but
do you think they trade
I don't think
Ja
KD wants to
or
go to Memphis.
well, it doesn't matter what KD wants at
do you
this
think they
point.
trade Ja?
Gonna
or
be
no?
dead honest, I don't think anybody wants to go to Memphis, like deep down inside. But yeah,
Okay.
Do you guys
but
think
yeah,
they trade Ja or no?
I wouldn't
He
be
was the only
opposed
one who
to it.
showed
I
up for
think.
them in the playoffs.
Well, I think if they trade Ja, it's just kind of tearing it all down. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe they keep
Not
Jaren.
necessarily. They were still good without him this year.
Not
Yeah,
really,
but that's
you
also
look at
because they
last year.
had Desmond Bain. Well, Desmond Bain wasn't amazing this year, but like I think if you trade Ja and Desmond Bain, it's kind of just you're blowing it up
Yeah.
at that point.
Yeah,
Unless
I
you
really
get one like big.
like. You look at the playoffs. Ja was the only one who actually showed up. In
Yeah,
those games
Jaren was
over
really bad in the
superstars.
playoffs.
So was Desmond. Um, I think John Morant's still very good. He's still pretty young, and he's a great playmaker. And
He was also he kind of declined this year and like
I mean, he was coming off an injury. He's a little bit rusty. I'd say give him another year.
but exactly that's another thing. He's had a bunch of injury problems and obviously the off court issues. Like he hasn't been super reliable recently.
Well, what
He's been
team
better
could you
though
see
about his off-court
taking him
stuff.
on with all those issues?
Uh, potentially, maybe the. I mean, okay, this I don't know.
No, I,
There's
I
teams,
wouldn't
teams
actually
that
be too opposed to that.
like maybe like the Nets.
Okay, yeah. I
Oh
was
yeah.
thinking maybe the Heat.
Heat too. I actually could see that. Yeah.
But if they trade Ja to the Heat, they're blowing it up.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends what they get back. I'd say if
I
you
don't
What
think
would
they
get
they
can
get
offer
back?
enough back
I don't
for
think
it to
they're
be
getting
worth it.
Hero back.
Unless they get like
I don't
yeah.
know if they want Hero back.
But I mean,
It'd probably
they have
be
all those picks now,
is
and
Andrew
then
Wiggins a free agent? It'd probably be Andrew Wiggins, Young Piece, and
Heat
draft
don't really
picks.
have any good young players that I think would be worth trading Ja for.
I
okay, I'm
think the
not
only
saying
player is
You get like
Khalil
the
I'm
Ware,
not
but I
saying
don't
it has
really
to be
think he's
from
on
the
the
Heat.
table.
You could always get a third team involved.
Oh, you might be able to get two Triple J's on the team, Jaime Jaquez Jr. and Jaren Jackson Jr. So
That's so
could be
disgusting.
worth it just for that.
Just to say
Yeah.
you have two Triple J's on the team.
Um, Trying to think, activating interesting trade route destinations in
Maybe
my
the
mind.
Kings.
Mm.
Maybe they give you something.
Okay, but again, there's
The
always
Kings
like
are a
a
stupid franchise. They might they should blow it up, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't. All right. Anything else?
okay. Well, next trade, yeah, next trade. You got the Kevin Durant to the Rockets. Um, what do you guys think about that?
I'm gonna talk about the Suns first before we talk about the Rockets because there will be more to talk about for the Rockets. Actually, I don't know about that.
I don't know. Yeah,
I think
Uh,
for the Suns, I wish they could have gotten back like Jabari Smith Jr. instead of Jalen Green, but I saw a report that they weren't really on the table. But
yeah,
I
I
like it
saw.
for them. I just wish they could have like I don't think Kevin Durant's market was that high, but I just wish they could have gotten back somebody else. But other than that, the package was pretty good for Kevin Durant.
I think it was good
yeah,
for both sides. Like the Suns got back an adequate amount for Kevin's worth right now. Like being a 37-year-old. I mean, he's still a great player, but you don't know how much longer, and just like I don't know what if he stays healthy fully and stuff. And then the Rockets didn't have to give up too much. Like obviously, people were mad. Oh, Jalen Green, he's not like I don't think he was their main piece going towards the future. Like you still have Şengün, Amen Thompson, and they have guys on the bench who they barely even got to play. Cam Whitmore and Reed Shepherd, just because they were like so deep.
yeah.
Yeah, I also wish the um, Suns could have gotten back like one of those guys, like Whitmore, Reed Shepherd.
Yeah, one of the
There's so
young
much.
guys.
I mean, unless they flip Jalen Green for something, but
I saw that they were trying. They weren't planning on keeping him. They were trying to move him.
I
his
would not keep
market
him
is
if they
just
were.
so low. Like nobody wants Jalen Green right now, and just
Yeah,
the
that's what I was
overlap
saying.
with him, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker is probably the nastiest thing I've ever seen.
Nastiest thing since the overlap of him, Kevin Durant, and Bradley. Oh, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant,
Nah,
and
bro,
Bradley Beal.
it's way worse.
Yeah, it's worse than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I hope they move at least either Bradley Beal or Jalen Green.
Or Jalen Green, they'll be able to maybe
Bradley
find
Beal
him
is obviously hard to move.
impossible.
How many years does he have on his contract?
Like two more.
Hold
Yeah,
up,
that's
we have
disgusting.
a breaking news trade alert.
Really, really,
Porzingis has been traded
dude, did I?
to the Atlanta Hawks. It looks like.
Dang.
What?
Yeah.
Atlanta? That's
Uh-huh.
crazy.
Bro, there've been a lot of moves.
So
All right, should we
there's
just
a
talk
move
about
to
that one right
Atlanta.
now?
Well,
I
we
say
haven't
we
really
just
seen we haven't seen the full trade package. Let's keep talking about
No,
Kevin
I,
Durant.
no.
I, I have.
It's Terrence Mann and the number 22 pick to the Nets and Georges Niang and a second rounder to the Celtics.
Jeez, they got Georges
That is
Niang in the second rounder for Kristaps.
that is nothing for. I guess
I mean,
Porzingis.
Kristaps is so bad.
He was terrible in the playoffs. Oh my goodness. He played work. Yeah,
That's
but
interesting
still,
for the
like
Hawks.
Yeah.
I think they might be trying to compete next year because the East is pretty wide open. So if they have a healthy Trey, healthy Kristaps Porzingis, healthy Jalen Johnson, healthy Dyson Daniels, they could be very good.
Hmm.
Yeah, I wanted them to get a 5. That was kind of like the main weakness in their team. I don't know if Kristaps Porzingis is the right answer though.
Well, now they've got to figure out how to trade Onyeka Okongwu, and then
You want to
I think they
trade
can
him?
keep Onyeka. Clint Capella is
but then
definitely not on this team next year though.
yeah, but
Yeah, I'd say you keep Onyeka.
Yeah,
He's like
wait, is
good.
Clint Capella, is he an expiring contract or is
He-
he?
I
Isn't he?
think so. Because I keep seeing things where the Lakers pick him up in free agency.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think he's expiring.
Okay, good. Okay, so they're not gonna have insane like weird center depth and overlap.
Celtics are gonna look weird next season.
Yeah, I think they're still gonna be quite good, but
Yeah.
they're not gonna be champions.
Capella's
They're
Who's
a
not
their
gonna
free
be a
center
agent.
gonna
contender.
be though?
Capella's a free agent this year.
Xavier Tillman, big dog.
Yes,
Uh,
sir. Finally, we put some
Yeah,
respect on Xavier Tillman's name.
yeah, big Zabe. You've got a crazy
Big
center depth. You got Xavier
Zave.
Tillman.
Big
You
Big
got
X.
Luke
Big
Cornett.
X.
Luke Cornett is in the
Maybe they
house.
trade some of those pieces for a center.
Jordan Walsh is a big, hefty power forward who could probably play
Hey, and
center.
don't forget Uncle Al.
Yeah, old
But
Al,
yeah, he'll probably
old Al.
start. I mean, at this point.
But who knows how long
I
he'll
don't
be
know.
playing.
Maybe Luke Cornett might start.
So the Celtics have traded those two pieces that they acquired in the offseason before they won the championship.
Yeah, but one of them was a major bum in the playoffs, so it makes sense. The other one, like,
How bad
they
was
got
Chris
a good
Paul
return
this year?
for.
All right, you want to shift over to the Blazers Celtics trade?
Anyone?
Well, first, can I give my ideas about the
Yeah, shut up, James.
Suns Rockets trade?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really know why people are giving the Houston Rockets second best odds. Like, I think they're going to be a great team, but I seriously don't see them being better than some of the other.
I agree.
Actually, I don't know. Like, the NBA is wide open,
I
but
I just don't trust Kevin Durant that much at this point.
yeah, me neither.
The
Everyone says
last
he's going to be the missing piece to win a championship, and he never has been.
yeah, the Suns were just
I mean, he was for
the
the
Suns were
Warriors.
really bad, bro. And like it's kind of amazing to me that you could have the floor of what the Suns had with Kevin Durant on your team and Devin Booker. Like even though they had no depth, it's Kevin Durant is just not at the point in his career where he can carry offenses.
Yeah.
But I mean,
So they're going to have to
The
bank
Rockets
on
do
they're going
have
to have to
other offensive weapons, and they're really a defensive team.
they're going to
So
have to bank on some of the development of their young guys though for offense, at least.
yeah,
But I think definitely he'll be a lot better for them than Jalen Green was, especially in the playoffs.
Oh,
yeah, I
yeah.
like that they have like a
He'll be
go-to guy in the clutch now.
consistent. Yeah.
Yeah.
He'll give you a solid 20 plus.
As for the Suns, they've got to start shopping Jalen Green trades. Unfortunately, the Nets have Cam Thomas, so they already have someone taking 40 shots a game there, so Jalen Green would not pair that well with him. But I think if the Suns can find a suitable Jalen Green trade destination, they'll actually be better this year than they were last year because they have some players who could help with their defensive inconsistencies, aka Dylan Brooks. And also they could get a good player with the 10th overall pick, so they'll have a little bit more depth than they had last year. And I think there's a chance they could be better than they were last year, like a play-in team.
All right, Blazers Celtics.
Yep. We have the Anthony Simons going to Boston for Drew Holiday.
Dos segundos.
Well, yeah, 2 seconds going to Boston as well. Me and Misha were talking about it a bit before you got on with your.
So we're going to give Max the floor first.
Yeah, go ahead, Max.
I'd honestly like it for the Blazers. I think a lot of people don't.
Oh,
But
I've seen so many comments of people saying, "Oh yeah, what are we doing?" But
Anthony Simons, he's a good player and he'll benefit a contender, but when you have him as like the main guy for your offense, he's just not. He's inefficient and he doesn't guard a thing. So
he can play defense.
as much as I love Ant, I think Drew Holiday is the better fit for our team because he brings more of that defensive culture, which you saw us kind of buy into this year. And then he will just bring veteran leadership. And I really don't think we'll lose that much on offense. Because Ant wasn't Ant just wasn't that good this year, but we still won 35 games. And
Yeah.
what else? I think it just provides more opportunity for our young guys like Scoot and Shaden, who we are going to need to develop to see something like for us to actually be a contender in the next coming years. So yeah, I think I like it for the Blazers. Not really sure why we gave up those 2 seconds. It didn't really seem.
That's
It seemed
what
like
I didn't like
we.
about it.
It's not the biggest deal. It's 2 seconds. It's so rare that seconds
Who knows? It
actually
might just
pan
be for
out.
might just be players who are like Nikola Jokic and like Draymond Green or like Chris Middleton and Jalen Brunson.
It's
That's all.
fine. It's
That's all 2
fine.
seconds could
No,
be.
scouting's too good at this point for like
I mean,
guys like
seconds are
that
still
to fall.
valuable. You can
I
always
don't know
add
about that one, Chief. They managed to get Tumani Kamara to us when he was
Yeah,
the 52nd
but
overall pick.
Yeah,
but there's literally like 3 to 5 effective second round picks a year, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. It's
So
still
that
a very small percentage
but
chance
okay,
Celtics
it's
actually
not
get
always
somebody.
about also just what players they turn into, but you can always add them to future deals too. And
I
so
don't
we
think
just
they
did.
sway deals that much though. Like
I mean,
Yeah, at least when I'm doing my
Rockets
2K
threw in 5 second round picks for the Kevin Durant trade to make
when I'm
that
doing
work.
my league in 2K, second round very rarely.
yeah, same, bro.
What?
When we're doing my league in 2K, like seconds very rarely change
It's
the
the
deal
first
that much.
that bring
Oh,
the
okay, yeah, in my
bring the
league.
big trades through.
Yeah.
I know.
I don't know, but I think like there's still such a small percentage chance of them actually being worthwhile players. So if they turn out to be like an MVP or an All Star or even a good player, like oh well he fucked up, but fricked up, my bad. But if not, it's like what if not, which is probably going to happen. It's whatever.
Also, Drew Holiday,
okay.
just going back to the trade in entirety, like Anthony was expiring next year, and Drew Holiday is also expiring next year, and
Drew Holiday's not expiring next year.
he's not?
No.
Oh, really? Is he expiring in 2 years?
He's owed $72 million for the next.
Oh, 3? He's making like, or is he making, or is that 2? That's 2.
No,
So
he's
it's
making like well under
36.
30 million, I think.
Really?
I think it might be 2 years.
His
Where
contract
did I
is up
see
in
that he was expiring? Wait, how many years?
2028. 3.
Okay.
Oh,
He's a-
goodness.
He has a player option for 27.
But yeah, and like, if worst comes to worst, we can still trade him. Um,
People were
And-
saying we were
and-
going to buy him out, and I do not want
No,
that.
no,
Ew.
why would we trade for him to buy him? That's
I know.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
We could have just bought. We could
It's
have just bought
delusion.
out
It's
Anthony.
delusional
Well,
Lakers
we
fans.
would have just like it's okay. We would have likely lost Anthony Simons for nothing this offseason because I don't really know. Like I'm sure he loves Portland and Portland loves him, but he's not sticking around because we're not
No.
contending
He doesn't
in the
fit
next.
well.
And
Yeah.
yeah, he's not a guy that's gonna want to come off the bench in like
Yeah.
the next couple of years. So, like, his market kind of dried up after Desmond Bane went to the Magic because the thing everybody was talking about was Ant going to the Magic, and you didn't really see that many suitors. So, yeah, I think it's good that we finally got something back from him.
Yeah, we were able to get rid of him, and we didn't. We actually got something worthwhile back.
Yeah, so I think it's a good trade for both sides. Like the Celtics, I think he will be really good in that role where he can play off of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, and you can also cover up some of his like defensive inconsistencies with.
Derek
Yes.
White and Jalen Brown.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see what he does with the Celtics. I think he'll be. I think a lot more people will know about him, know about his game.
It was name.
Yeah, because he'll be playing for a contender. So
Yeah.
that's
I agree. I think it's got good potential to be a win-win trade. I mean, Drew Holiday has still got a very good reputation throughout the NBA. People think of Drew Holiday and think of defense and championships and just winning in general. So I think at the trade deadline, there will be a team that probably needs some defense and playmaking and might look to Drew Holiday and give us a couple things. So, or give the Blazers a couple things. That's a very big possibility. But if not, he's definitely a lot more, not mature, but he's older than Anthony is. So I think he's already
He's
done.
mature.
been an
He's-
all-star.
he's like
Well, he is very,
probably one
he's
of the
very
most
mature.
mature players in the league. They're just like
Yeah. But he's been an all-star. He's won championships. He's sort of done it all. So I think he would be not happy, but he would be willing to come off the bench if it helps Shaden and Scoot's development.
And I know you guys talked about the mentoring aspect of it too for
Yeah.
the young guys. Do you think that plays that much of a role, or
Who
I
knows?
hope
Maybe he can
Scoot
help.
and Shaden can learn something from him defensively, and
yeah?
also
Because we
just
I
know
think Scoot
we
is
know
already a
Chauncey.
capable defender, but Shaden could learn some
We
from
know
him.
Chauncey was trying to get into Shaden to become a better defender. I don't know
Yeah,
if I sent you guys that article. I showed you,
yeah.
right?
No, I saw it.
Okay.
I think some
Uh,
like maturation from Scoot on the just playmaking side of just not
Yeah.
being so like just fast and kind of just slowing it down sometimes. Hopefully
Mhm.
Drew Holiday can help that, but you'd also think having Chauncey Billups as his coach would help that. So
Yeah,
I don't know. I think the main thing I'm looking at is the defensive side for Shaden and Scoot,
yeah, for sure.
and hopefully they can be elite defenders from this trade.
I
but you
agree.
think he can just automatically just make them elite defenders
No,
just
but
by
he can. But Drew Holiday's not like he's not like people say he's the best perimeter. Most people of this like era say he's the best perimeter defender they've played against, and he's not. He's not like 6'7" with like a 7 foot wingspan. Bro, okay, that's just what I. Six
What
eight,
was it?
six
Was it
eight
like?
with a 7 foot wingspan, and he's like super strong. Well, he is pretty strong, but like he's not that much of a naturally gifted defender in the NBA.
he's
Yet
got a
he's
good defensive.
still
Yeah.
He's got really good
he's just a
reflex and
really
really good
smart
footwork.
defender.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. He could help people out, and yeah, I'm excited to see what he does with our guys. Are excited what he does with our team.
All right,
Uh,
moving on to
for the Celtics side,
the
I think this is a crazy hot take, but I think Anthony could have a breakout year there and could turn to something of like an all-star level player. This is absolutely my like crazy hot take.
I mean, okay, something that's not too hot about that, the Celtics or the not the Celtics, the East as a whole lost like has three All-Stars at least
oh
that
yeah.
aren't going to be
You see that
like
video I sent you? Gerson Yabusele, all-star starter.
yeah, like there's
Quentin
definitely
Grimes.
opportunities for All-Stars in the East next year, like first time All-Stars because of injuries to All-Star players.
Yeah, so I think there's a chance like if he could average close to like 20 points a game and like 5 assists, he could be on like a Celtics team that's somewhat competitive, like or like top five. He could be an all-star. I think he's got the potential. I think he's got a better handle than Peyton Pritchard. I think like even though Peyton Pritchard had a lot of people really liked him, I think he's still a better player than Peyton Pritchard is. Um,
What does Peyton Pritchard really have to do with anything, though?
well, I mean, he's gonna be fighting. He's gonna be fighting for like the point guard spot with Peyton
Yeah,
Pritchard.
I've seen people saying Pritchard, start Pritchard and just have him come off the bench, but
I don't
Peyton
think that
Pritchard
should
is such
happen.
a good bench player. I mean, they both have the same kind of
I
play
think
style,
Anthony is
but
a much better. I think Anthony is much better like point guard, like starting point guard. Like he could create a lot of plays. He's a very good shooter, although Peyton Pritchard's also an even better shooter.
yeah,
I think he'll
But he's
also
got
be
a
able
great.
to
I don't,
take
we'll
advantage
see.
of like just not having the best defender on him every night.
Exactly, yeah. I think he'd become a lot more efficient without if he's not taking so many like contested step back 3 pointers.
I
Like he
look at
does.
like Tyrese Maxey who plays like so much better when Joel Embiid is on the floor, just because he's got that
Yeah,
pressure off of him and he can just kind of play freely. So
yeah,
maybe I could see Ant kind of just playing a role like that.
yeah. And I honestly hope he is, because I mean I like him as a player, and it would be cool if he does really good things with the Celtics.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right, moving on to the next trade. This
We
was
have
surprising.
this was recent, just a couple hours ago. We have Jordan Poole and
Sadiq
Sadiq
Bey,
Bey,
number 40
number 40
for
pick, going to the Pelicans for Kelly Olynyk, CJ McCollum, and a future second rounder, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
Yeah.
This was a really confusing trade.
I think the Wizards, well, obviously you get two expiring contracts, and CJ and Kelly Olynyk, I believe, is also expiring.
Dude,
Yeah.
the main thing that pissed me off with this trade was that the Pelicans gave away Kelly Olynyk. I thought his fit next to Zion was like you finally get Zion like a legitimate stretch five and you just trade him away. But it's
Yeah.
not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I don't think they're too worried about that.
It's not like he's
Kelly
starting,
Olynyk.
but I don't know. I don't know why you. I don't really get the point of this trade. I guess
I think it's worse for the Pelicans. That's all I'm
yeah,
gonna say.
it's yeah, like Washington getting those expiring deals, and
I also
And
think
also
CJ
you could
McCollum
play.
just straight up is a better player than Jordan Poole.
Well,
Yeah, it's debatable. I think Poole has a higher ceiling.
Well, obviously, yeah, because
He
Poole's
hasn't
younger.
really shown it though so far.
Turn your ring
You
off,
could,
Chase.
Yeah,
uh,
Shay.
I mean, yeah, obviously, Poole is much younger, so he's got a lot more room to grow. But it makes the Pelicans a lot younger too. Um, so yeah, I was a little confused by it, but I don't know. Wizards makes like I guess they're just moving on from Jordan Poole. He's not really their future.
Wizards
Uh,
front office is low key cooking. Like with some of the trades they've been doing with Chris Middleton and now Marcus Smart and now this, they've been getting like a lot of picks. They've been getting some good veteran presence.
yeah, so they'll have good mentors.
It's alright. I think the Wizards get glazed a little too much. People say, like,
Who knows?
people
Maybe
say
10
they
years from
have
now,
like
they'll
an insanely bright future, but like
I mean, Alex Sarr showed good potential.
who
You
knows?
Alex
got
Sarr is
Maybe
Bilal.
good. I think my favorite player on
yeah,
that team is like Keyshawn George,
Okay, you got
Keyshawn
Keyshawn
George.
George, Alex Sarr, Bilal Koulibaly.
like
Um,
none of those guys are like I don't trust a single one of those guys on offense. Like they're good defensive play. Like Bilal's all right, but they
they
still
could
don't have
develop.
the guy. They're kind of like the Blazers in that way, but the Blazers are better because we have Denny who can.
Better players.
Yeah, we're like the
Hey, they
Wizards,
got
but we
CJ
have
McCollum.
guys that can play on offense.
They got CJ McCollum now.
Yeah, and I guess they're bringing in all these like veterans, so I don't
Imagine
know.
how crazy that starting five would have been, or like that those three like on the same team would have. It would have been actually a decent team like 5 years ago. CJ
Which team?
McCollum, Marcus Smart, and
No.
Chris Middleton.
Yeah,
That's a pretty good 10th seed, in my opinion.
Yeah. Which if the Wizards keep building, they could be a pretty good temp seed someday. Who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah, bro.
I
I
believe
don't
that
know.
Wizards front office is cooking. They might be a playoff
I
team.
feel like I
They
saw
might be
somebody
good.
calling them the next like Thunder.
Uh,
That's what the Blazers are.
yeah. I'll believe it when I see it.
Shaden's the next Shay.
me and Misha were actually making some comparisons.
Yeah,
The Blazers to the Thunder. You got
Shaden's just
the
like Shay though. Shay wasn't like amazing his
all
first couple years in
50
OKC.
nonchalant.
Yeah,
He was still it was still a decent bit better than Shea.
yeah,
Yeah,
he was.
and
But
much better defensively.
By like not that great. You mean he averaged 25 points his like third year, I think, or something like that.
yeah. All right, is that everything on the trade talk?
Well, we got the Kristaps Porzingis trade. You want to dive into that,
Yeah,
or
we already talked about it.
about
we briefly talked about it.
Also,
Uh,
I don't like that trade.
I don't like
for
it.
who? Anyone?
No, bro, I don't like it for anybody.
I just don't like Kristaps Porzingis. He's got rape allegations. He's not a very good
Dead
player.
ass.
in the
Wait,
playoffs.
what? Where did that?
When did
Are you?
read that?
You can
Are
look
you
it
the
up.
one?
Okay.
Misha's accusing him, bro.
Oh yeah. No, you can actually look it up. It's true.
Oh my. When? When did that happen?
You brought it up.
Ah.
What the?
Max,
I'm
are you
looking
fact
it
checking that?
I guess yeah. In 2019, this PR team
Told
must have
you.
done a crazy job because I have not
Yeah, because I did not hear
heard about that at all.
Where did
Yeah.
you hear? Or when did you hear about that?
I was trying to see what country it was from, so I just like got some random information in his bio, which was
That's in his bio.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
in his Instagram bio.
his
Houston
pronouns
rape.
are just racist.
Sexual assaulter. All right.
It's
Should
like
we move
husband,
on?
father, and alleged rapist. It's like
All right. Should we move on to the mock draft?
Oh no, we had one more topic of the. I mean, apparently neither of you guys
Over
knew about
50
the
minutes in.
Nuggets. Of
We
the
got a
Nuggets
whole-
hiring. Okay, I know. I'm saying of
30
the
minutes. 30.
Nuggets hiring two GMs. Kind of. Did you guys see that?
I did it, but I don't know. It's a strange move.
Here, let me just pull it up.
Maybe it works, though.
Let me just
Alright.
pull it up real quick.
I will not be doing a mock draft because I do not know enough about college ball.
Well, okay,
It is-
we're all doing. I think for the
Nice.
mock draft, we're all just deciding on the same thing.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
All right, so next time you see
Wow.
us, we'll be.
Wait, bro. You don't want to talk about the Nuggets?
No, I don't want to talk about that. Misha, do you want to
Let me
talk
just
about
pull it
that?
up real quick. Let me pull it up.
They've got cool GMs. That's pretty cool. I don't know if that's been done before. All right, good.
No.
We can move on
All right.
now.
All right. Next time you see us, we'll be going into our
mock drafting.
official, the 3-Man Weave official 2025 mock draft.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.